let's dig into my, what it was like once I bought a property. I realized that I could not move out anybody. We realized, right? I bought it with my homie lover friend in 2004. So we bought this property. We didn't know anything about rent control or anything like that. We even found out right before we closed that it was actually a 3-unit property, not a 4-unit property. People were living in it and everything. So we didn't have ideas of renovating it or anything like that because it was already functioning. It wasn't in great condition, but people were living in it, and that's that. People were living in all 4 of the units, even though it was only 3 legally. And the rents were very low. We're talking $400 and some change, $800 and some change. I think one was $1,100, but I think at least 2 people were $400, $500. So we had 2 1-bedrooms, 2 3-bedrooms. So that's what it was. And so, there's potential for the future. I couldn't live in it, but I was in a fairly comfortable living situation. My daughter and I were in a 2-bedroom with my sister, so my daughter and I shared a room. And at the time, she probably was maybe like 7 years old, so pretty young. So it was okay. That's what we were doing. So anyway, we were living in this home, and not living in this home, we're renting this property, and it was okay. It kind of covered monthly expenses. I don't believe we had an Impound account, so we had to come out of pocket to pay for the, and you come out of pocket anyway if you're not making a profit. But we just had to come up with the money to pay the twice a year property taxes. So that's what was going on with that. And, everything was going okay. Collecting the rents, going door to door, collecting rents. Most of the time we got checks. Sometimes we got cash. We weren't too stringent. We did ask the tenants, a couple of them, to sign a new lease. They didn't. And we didn't push them on the issue. And that's how things went for a couple of years. And we're okay with it. We weren't too upset or bothered. It was kind of cool. Everything was holding together okay. And no major problems or surprises. There were like a water heater that needed to be replaced here and there. Nothing major going on. No major problems with the tenants, with each other. And so it was okay. I looked at it as investing monthly because, again, I put money in sometimes. We weren't really making a profit. We were not together when it comes with accounting or anything like that, but it wasn't a lot to account for. It wasn't complicated. Sorry. So it was, it was an interesting situation, a learning experience. I do have like a little broken broom handle that I carry with me. My mom insists that I carry it with me. Some days I forget. I don't bring it every day, but just a little insight. That's my security. No. But yeah, so again, we didn't know what we were doing. It wasn't like the best investment because we weren't thinking about profits and loss and all that, especially since the original plan was to live in the property. And so, but it wasn't making any money, just to be clear. And then things started to happen over time where we were really losing a lot of money. And we'll go into our next episode and really detail those things that happened that really caused us to lose a lot of money. But as you know, we kept the property, but we'll have to tell you how we finagled and got through these situations as the plot thickened and, you know, situations took a turn for the worse with tenants and all that hoopla. But thank you for listening and, you know, learning about my journey into real estate investing, which really started off with me doing what you call, the modern day, they call it house hacking. That was the plan. The plan did not work out, but originally to live in one of the units of the 4-unit building and to rent out the other parts. And that was the plan. But that never materialized. And then we'll talk about, you know, how we were just, you know, making ends meet, not really making a profit, you know, giving out a little bit of money per month. Twice a year to pay for those property taxes, and then just how it worked out. So we'll get into it, all the details about that in the next episode, how things got worse.